Hello! Today we're going to be creating our own paper maraca, and we are going to start with a white piece of paper, a colored piece of paper or black, glue, scissors, and coloring materials. So I am starting out with a regular piece of copy or printer paper, and I am folding it in half like a hamburger. So I'm going to have it really wide, and then I'm going to fold it right in half. So I'm holding it on one side, and I'm squishing down the other side. So everyone should see the crease right down the middle. That is where we're going to separate our two separate maracas. So the first step we're going to do is grab our pencil and draw one big oval. Our oval should be nice and big. It should be touching the top of our page and come down to almost the middle of our page. Then we are going to draw one really long, what kind of looks like a snake, below our oval. So we have our handle, and we have our oval shape at the top, which holds all of the beans or shells or other noisemakers inside of our maraca. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to start at the top and draw one big oval. And then we're going to draw a really long line all the way down to the bottom of our page and come back up. So they should look exactly the same on both sides, or as close as we can make them. And we start at the top where it's touching and end at the bottom where it's touching the bottom of our page. So now that we've drawn our maraca, we can color it in. So I'm just taking colored pencil. I'm coloring the handle all one color. So I am going to color it really well. I'm coloring it a brownish color because the handle is usually a tannish brownish color. If you want to color it with markers, you can do that as well. You can also color it with crayons or oil pastel. I would suggest not coloring it in watercolor because then you need to wait until it dries before you cut it out. So I'm just moving up a little bit, and I'm going to draw a little smiley face, really small smiley face, and I'm going to stop right there. So now is the fun part. We get to design the top of our instrument. So we are going to use any colors we want, and we're going to use different lines and shapes we've learned in class. So I'm going to color the top by just starting with a purple color, and I might give it a zigzag on the bottom. And I'm just going to color that in. We need to make sure we color our whole instrument. We don't want to see any white spaces. And I know you guys will take your time with that. So I have the top of my maraca. Now I might just do a straight line across. So I draw a straight line and I curve it ever so slightly because your instrument is round at the top. It's kind of like a big egg. All right, so we have our second part of our maraca colored. I'm gonna take a different color now. We're gonna use all different colors, and maybe I'm going to make some squiggles. So then I'm just gonna color in the top of my squiggles this shade of green. And I might grab a different shade of green and I'll color the top of that in. So you want to continue moving all down this oval shape and color the entire part. So next I might do some circles. And I'm making sure I'm coloring everything in really well because I want it to be very vibrant colors and stand out. And I might shade that behind it, a green color. Green is one of my favorite colors, green and purple. You can color your instrument whatever you would like. I'm still gonna curve this line a little bit to make it look like our instrument is curved. And lastly, I'm going to color the bottom of my instrument yellow. So see, our whole instrument is colored. You are actually going to color both instruments. So we have 2 on our paper and you are going to color both. But I'm just going to color one for now to show you the steps in order to glue it down. So once you color both, you will cut on the seam of your paper to make it easier for you to cut out both maracas. And we are going to carefully cut our piece out. So we're turning it as we go, we're carefully cutting it. We're cutting away from us, not towards us. We always want to cut away from us. And I'm cutting right on the line of my maraca. And I have my one cut out. I already made another instrument, which will be the same as if you guys create 2 of them and then cut both of them out. So I have my instruments, I have my black paper, but you can use any paper you want, and I'm actually going to be gluing them down cross. So one of them is going to be overlapping the other one. So I'm going to take my first maraca, grab my glue, and I'm going to go on the edges of my piece of paper. I don't need to color the middle as long as the edges are glued. And I am going to glue it down diagonally. So I'm not gluing it straight, I'm gluing it down diagonally. And I'm going to hold it down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have my second instrument. I'm going to do the same thing. Oops. Go all along the edges. And flip it over. And we're not doing it straight, we're doing it diagonally. So here we have our maracas in place. And we're going to hold it down, make sure it's glued. And if you would like, you could use a white crayon or oil pastel. I have an oil pastel. And you can make 2 little lines surrounding your maraca. It kind of makes it look like it's moving. And if you have even more time and you want to get more creative, you're always welcome to add a border. So if you wanted to add just straight lines on the edge, you could. You could add some zigzag lines on the border. You could add circles on the border. You could add anything you want. And there you have it. Here are your instruments.